My name is Atharshajya Chavin, and I'm excited to walk you through the latest release of Rundeck and Runbook Automation version 6.0, now available on SaaS and on-prem platforms. Every team has a playbook that's buried deep in their tool stack, written by someone who has left the organization and pulled out at 2 a.m. when everything's on fire. But a playbook that nobody can find and only one person knows how to run isn't really a playbook that can be trusted. It's a liability. Scale that across an enterprise, and you've got automation that's disconnected across teams and tools and operations that stay manual in exactly the moments where speed and consistency matter most. It's a compounding problem that slows resolution and limits how far automation can scale. PagerDuty's Runbook Automation is how we put guardrails and consistency and visibility around all of that. It provides a unified orchestration layer that connects fragmented automation across teams, tools, and environments while providing your team with a safe, auditable, and repeatable way to run operations across all of your infrastructure. The right people are executing tested playbooks, not improvising at 2 a.m. Actions are logged, steps are traceable, and your automation scales without your platform becoming the bottleneck. With version 6.0, we've modernized the foundation underneath. Updated Java runtime, native Prometheus metrics, MySQL 8.4 out of the box, and 20 plus security fixes. Spend less time maintaining the platform, more time building on top of it. This update is generally available for all Rundeck and PagerDuty Runbook Automation customers. To explain this further, I'll hand it off to our Director of Product Management, Forrest Evans. Off to you, Forrest.
Hi, today we're going to take a look at the 6.0 release of Rundeck and Runbook Automation. It's important to note that there's not a lot of razzle-dazzle here, and that's intentional. Our major release versions are intentionally feature light, since the volume of changes made in the backend, all driven by framework upgrades, already introduce a lot of change. With package updates, changes of Java versions, and thousands of lines of code changed, we keep these releases focused to help troubleshoot and stay ahead of issues. There are some new minimum versions and important upgrade notes to be aware of on our documentation site upon release. You can see the release notes here and visit the upgrading page to see the specific 6.0 instructions. That being said, we can take a look at the product and show what we have today and remind ourselves about some of the major value points the RBA platform has over similar automation solutions. The first is focused on the user themselves, and specifically the detailed access controls that can be managed within RBA to ensure automation is only run by the users that should be doing so. We can see that this user that's logged in here has limited access to the different features of Rundeck. The second is our dynamic node inventory. Every server, VM, and endpoint we manage, regardless of whether it's on-prem, in your cloud system, or combination of both, all those engineers and automators need access to those. So instead of toggling between all the different availability zones to find a host, it can all be here, ready to run automation against. Third, one challenge in large enterprises is that not all infrastructure is reachable from a central server. Some environments are air-gapped, inside a VPC, or in a zero-trust zone with strict firewall rules. Enterprise runners solve this without compromising security. The runner sits inside that restricted zone and reaches out to Rundeck or Runbook Automation. We never need to open an inbound firewall port, and security teams love this because it flips the model. We're not punching holes in walls, we're establishing a one-way, secure channel outbound. Automation can now reach places it previously couldn't. There isn't much to show here, but another way to share this idea is it's a super agent approach. Not required in every system, just one in every network or security segment, so it can access the endpoints it needs to while picking up work from the main server. And of course, the star of the show, the jobs themselves. A codified version of something an engineer would otherwise do by hand or from memory directly on their console. The difference is this runs the same way every time, and it logs each step and captures who ran it and when. If we have a 2 a.m. incident, the on-call engineer isn't improvising or trying to chase someone down. They're just executing a tested playbook. And when the audit team asks what happened, we have the answer. It's the deterministic automation that they can know what will happen on each job run. So thanks for watching, and go try out Rundeck or Runbook Automation 6.0.
Thanks, Forrest. What you just saw is how Runbook Automation gives customers a safer, auditable, and repeatable way to run operations across all of our infrastructure. That's the core of what the product is about. Ultimately, this means your team spends less time managing the platform that's supposed to reduce toil and more time building the automation that actually does. If all this looks like the Runbook automation you're already familiar with, it's because most, and if not all, the changes to version 6.0 is a major update focused on significantly modernizing the underlying backend infrastructure, not the UI. This helps to ensure that we're helping you scale automation safely and securely. Runbook automation reduces risk, reduces toil, and gives leadership full visibility into what's being automated and by whom. It removes the barriers between manual, inconsistent operations and automated self-service so the right people can execute the right actions every time without needing to be an expert. Every runbook you build is another step towards autonomous operations. Now generally available for all Rundeck and PagerDuty Runbook automation customers. Upgrade to version 6.0 today.